Welcome to Razep Africa, the heartbeat of the continent in one show.
Now, today we dive into a simmering crisis, youth unemployment, rise in political dissatisfaction, and how opposition parties are aligning ahead of the next elections. Now, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, youth unemployment in Nigeria has reached 35% during the last quarter. As joblessness mounts, so does disillusionment. Today, I'm being joined by Honorable Freedom Bassey, a political analyst, stalwart of the ruling APC, and also the Director General of the Progressives Local Government Chairman for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We are going to assess whether the current administration is delivering on good governance or whether Nigerian youth are driving a new political wave. Thank you so much for being part of the program, Honorable.
Thank you and welcome.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, especially at a time when it seems like young people are becoming disillusioned. For some of us who are journalists and often go to the streets and have conversations with young Nigerians, it's almost as if it's a case of them versus us. Elections were held in the FCT some months ago, and we saw that very low turnout. We saw about 20% of turnout. That right there is a very concerning trend for a nation that's working towards 2027 general election. So I guess as the director, the DG of the Progressives Local Government Chairman for Bola Tinubu and key voice within the APC structure, how do you honestly assess the current mood of Nigerian youth towards this administration? Honestly, without the emotions of coming from your political party, if that is something you can summon up.
Yeah. Thank you, Joy. Thank you for having me. And thank you, viewers. If you look at me where you know that we're talking about my constituency here, I'm still a youth. So it's a personal question. If you ask me, the Nigerian youth have never fared better than they are faring now under the leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But I must say the truth. The dissenting voices are actually louder. That is just the difference. The APC government is not making too much noise about their performances because they don't want to be distracted. They want their work to speak for themselves. So the noise in the social media and conventional or orthodox media about performances is just normal. But in actual performance, no government, the facts are there, you can verify, has taken the matter of youth personally and worked towards improving them the way the federal government led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing. We can count on a lot of things. If you want us to start from, is it the student loans? Is it to go, right now as we speak, the Bank of Industry and the NIDA, they are rolling out over $100 billion for youth empowerment programs. There are a lot of programs going on. Our youth should key into this, and we'll appreciate what government is doing.
So you think, before I move forward, I want this clear. Yes. You think the frustrations that we are seeing is exaggerated? It does not show genuine reflection of governance gaps, even though I just told you about this disillusion and despondency when it comes to our political terrain, and especially during elections. I also mentioned the 35% from the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics of unemployment, and there are damning, there are several other damning statistics talking about entrepreneurship, businesses that are worse off now than they were 3-4 years ago, as bad as we thought it was at the time.
Okay. I think this is an opportunity for me to clear some issues. When Nigerians talk about unemployment, we quickly think of the global concept of unemployment. When you hear Nigeria say unemployment, that Nigeria is talking about government job. Nigerians have different meaning for the Nigerian English is spoken in context. When a Nigerian, for example, a Nigerian who is well engaged, just like you are engaged here now, and your team is engaged here. If you ask them, you ask your team, they will still tell you they are unemployed because they are not employed by government. That is the meaning of Nigeria unemployment. You see somebody who is doing his petty trade, who earns better than, we have youth corps members, we have young graduates, even we have many undergraduates who are self-employed. I was an undergraduate and I was self-employed while in the university. I had a business center. I had some girls photocopying and typing for me as an undergraduate in Calabar. Yet I graduated and I kept saying I was unemployed. That is the Nigerian meaning of unemployment. So most of the statistics thrown around us are in that context, unemployment in the context of not employed by government. Not that they don't have gainful source of living, but just that we are entitled and feel that it is the responsibility of the federal government or state government or local government to employ us. As I speak now, just recently, you watched the governor of Anambra State going around ministries, and there were no staffs in those places. He later found out that more than 70% of those staff have gone to their private businesses. So they want the government employment while they run their private businesses, not that they are not employed.
Okay, so this,
yes.
Because the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, for instance, uses the standard ILO method for calculating unemployment, and that's the statistics I measured. Yes. I'm not talking about the emotional unemployment perception that Nigerians have. Yes. I'm talking about employment that is measured using an international labor standard, the International Labor Organization's standard for measurement, one that talks about anyone who has worked for at least 1 hour in the past week is considered employed. Whether it is formally, whether it is informal or informal, and unemployment being those not working actively, seeking job and available for work. That's what the NBS. That is how the NBS conducts these statistics. But I think we're delving and spending too much time on this issue and not really addressing the fact that we have young Nigerians with so much to give. We are one of the most talented population in the world, well skilled, not gainfully employed at this moment. We are seeing the ripple effect in the increase in crime in certain parts of the country. Do you think this government has done enough to address this very important issue of unemployment? Considering we could also play back during campaigns what this administration, this president that you are rooting for, garnering local government, a very important arm of the Nigerian structure, to vote for again and work towards his re-election. Has he done enough in unemployment and dousing the tension among young people?
Yeah, thank you once again. The challenges are there. The challenges are there, but like I said earlier, the federal government is working seriously on that. One of the causes, it's better to solve the problems from the root.
Okay, let's get to the root.
Yes, the local government is a tail government and is the closest to the people. Is the first contact of the ordinary citizen.
Okay.
And that arm of government, I should call it, was almost wiped out in the past.
Wiped out?
Yes, because there were no local government. We had under the PDP regime, we had states that never conducted local government elections for some 16 years, never conducted local government elections. So they were just appointing, and even up to 2 years ago, you go to some local government secretariat, there are no staff. So the president know that it is rural-urban migration, lack of jobs at that area. So the first the president went into was working towards empowering the local government structure. And then, thank God, the federal government went to the Supreme Court and had the judgment in favor of the local government. And that has, as we speak now, this is the first time local government elections are conducted in all the states of the federation.
Has that affected the influence that we often have of the executive governors?
Yes,
because I mean, we've been here before, where it seems like we take one step forward, we're asking for financial autonomy for local government, and we don't even see it in
now. As I speak now, the local government, elected government structures are now engaging the youth. In agriculture, in cottage industries. I use my state, for example, Cross River State. His Excellency Governor Senator Prince Bassey too is doing so much through in partnership with the local government areas. So we're now having young farmers. Now, before I even go into that, not too long ago, you heard the Nigerian military begging Nigerians to enroll.
Unfortunately.
So they will force you to be employed. And again, some are not even employable. Now, when adverts are raised and they all are published and the youth refuse, many Nigerians want to be independent. Many Nigerians want to be engaged in remote jobs. They are choosing what they want to do. So this, and the statisticians and the MBS and the ILO and the rest should also not sit at their offices and churn out figures. They should go to the streets. They should go to the rural areas. They should go and find out. And then they should also know, okay, if somebody doesn't want to be employed, is there any law to compel him to be employed? And then when you use the word gainfully.
So what you're saying, because I've reported on several instances where if you, as we speak here in the studio, we can do a quick illustration of what I'm talking about. Just have an application for application, notify 2-3 people for a job opening. However, wherever this job may be even I remember having this conversation with someone who has a club and wanted bartenders, and he saw the number of professionals who are in accounting, in several professional jobs, applying for these jobs that he was hoping that he will get first level applicants. I'm talking secondary school dropouts and all of that. But he saw graduates, masters holders, some who were more qualified than he was. So what you're saying are these individuals have seen other jobs that fit into the whatever profession they had studied, but they said no and would rather they pick, like you said, I'm quoting your words now, they pick the jobs they want to do. That's what you just said. So they would rather be paid less, because that's not a job for that payment. That pay would not go in an ideal sense for a graduate, for instance. So they would rather be paid less and do these jobs, is what you're saying. They don't want to work they don't want to get their hands dirty to work. They pick what they want. And you don't even agree that there's unemployment in Nigeria at all.
No, I agree there's unemployment. Like I said, the statistics is what I'm talking about.
It's not just right.
It's not just right. There is a high rate of unemployment. Look, you know I'm an employer. Before you even get to graduate accountant professionals who want to do bartender jobs, we have graduates who go to learn fashion and designing after university.
Of course.
We have graduates who choose, just yesterday I was talking to a graduate who refused to be mobilized for National Youth Service Corps.
She would rather use that period to work.
Thank you. I asked her why. She said, no, she wants to go learn makeup. She wants to go learn makeup. And another major challenge is the quick catch syndrome. Because my conversation with this, I'm a very young person too. I converse with them, we discuss, we talk. There is this, many can't just wait for 30 days to be paid.
Okay.
They want to have it daily. So, like the bartender issue is for the tips. Many of them go to do this bartender job because guests and customers at these places.
So and
again, they're not calling. You're not just having the certificate or you are done. You have your BSc accounting and can you really defend your certificate? So they run to where they won't be asked a question relating to their profession, not saying that the challenge is not there. The challenge is there, and it's a common challenge globally now. So, but the federal government under the leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has opened up the economy, and many are being employed daily because of the ease environment for doing business and a lot of other things. You can see the rate. Just yesterday evening, I was talking with a Nigerian who has been in the UK for over 25 years.
Okay.
He said, Bassey, and in fact, one of these days I'll bring him to your program. Yes, you would like to hear him, and I would like Nigerians to also hear from him.
What is he going to tell me?
Now he's going to tell you why he's back to Nigeria. He said, Bassey, look, I want to contribute to my country. We in the UK have seen that the federal government of Nigeria is really doing what we are seeing outside, so we want to be part of it. He just arrived in Nigeria this week. He's in the hotel. After this program,
and simultaneously, we are having hundreds who want to leave.
It's a global movement. Migration is as old as man.
It's as old as man, but it's concerning when your youthful energies with their skills and talent.
We have young Chinese who go to the airport. We have influx of foreigners coming to Nigeria too, very young, daily. In their thousands coming to Nigeria. Sometimes it's not just for the money, it's not just for the welfare, it's what an individual wants to do, where you want to be. So as we are going out, so foreigners are also coming. Joy, there are foreigners in rural areas in Nigeria where you in Nigeria wouldn't want to live. If you are going to Nasarawa you are driving to the Orote Bridge in Nasarawa State,
right? You
find foreigners living right in the forest.
And you want me to believe it is not because of the natural resources that's there? Because but let's leave. The
point I'm trying to make is that foreigners are also coming into Nigeria. Nigerians are not the only one. Like I said, migration is as old as man.
I can tell you why foreigners would feel comfortable coming into the country.
I'm not about to tell you why Nigerians are going out.
Yeah, but why they are going out is the economic hardship they have saved.
So the foreigners coming from America is the economic hardship in America.
Because when the
one coming from China is economic.
Unfortunately, when a foreigner approaches you, they call them expatriates. They approach you to.
And Nigerians are called expatriates too. our medical doctors, our nurses are equally called expatriates.
And that is why Nigeria is having stiffer migration policies from other countries across the world.
Yes.
But we are digressing once again. Let's go back to the APC's administration and the several youth-led or youth-focused initiatives that have been rolled out, and the impact. Would you say it has really impacted and changed the course of things? I mean, I guess I already know the response to that.
No. This one, I will be very sincere with you.
And okay, I'm happy you're going to be sincere, because I'd like you to talk about the policy design, and if so far these many initiatives that have been rolled out, the implementation, is it a political will issue? Because a lot of Nigerians will say, first of all, I didn't even hear about it. And those who have heard about it tell you it died from the word go. We didn't see nothing afterwards.
Now you hit the nail on the head.
I'm happy you find that so.
There is the gap. There's a very wide gap between those in need of the intervention and the intervention itself. That is why the progressive local government chairmen are coming up together to say, we should be asked, we should be part. You are making plans for me. The interventions are for me. Let there be a medium through which I will know. We agree that globalization comes with not just media, the internet. The migration to the internet, or how do you call it? I'm trying to get the word you guys are using now.
The digital
era.
Right.
Yes. That migration from the traditional or the orthodox way of doing things to the digital era should be a gradual one. It shouldn't be automatic. Now, just to last month, I was given some opportunities for my rural youth, and the link was sent to me. I forwarded the link to my village. The 10 youths I sincerely intended to empower with
that opportunity
lost out because they couldn't upload,
they just could not navigate themselves with the. But why should that?
Thank you.
Exactly, because if we recognize that we are in a semi-literate country.
The senator raised this matter during the discourse on the amendment of the Electoral Act, and some people laughed at it. It's real. There are some communities in Nigeria that have not been linked up to the internet.
Linked up to the internet, what does that mean? Because if there are communities in Nigeria, we are serious about elections.
They make phone calls. Not about elections here.
Because that was what the senator was.
That discussion. What he's saying is that his people should not be disenfranchised. There should be an alternative to the system. That was his argument. Now they have network for phone. But the data network is very weak at the rural area.
And the infrastructure for it, they won't agree to sell to Nigerians.
It's private, it's not government infrastructure.
No, but of course, when government is serious about
that. No. That infrastructure that provides all the network in the rural area right now, is not owned by government.
Yes, it shouldn't. It should always be owned by government.
So the young guys in my community, and I went back to the agency of government. I said, please, can we have, if you say this is for the rural youth, can it be tailored? Can the formation consider their predicament, their situation? Can it resemble them? He said, Bassey, what are you saying? I said, yes. You said it's for the rural area.
And this book cannot.
Can you print it out for me so I give it to young men to feel? He said they want the process to be seamless, that because if they do that one again, Nigeria, the opposition will say he's selective, they are giving it to man, no man. I said,
but they gave it to you and you are of the APC. So
they didn't give it to me, they gave me the link. That's what I'm saying now, link. And link can be given. Why
I'm not APC. Could that be why I did not get the
No, it's possible you didn't get the information. So I got the information.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got the information and I forwarded the link. The link is linked, just like the Nigerian military tell you, every other employment these days they will say, go. When you keep on saying, go to the, data is not free. The young man is not employed. He doesn't have money to buy data. And you're asking him to surf the net to get notices of vacancies on the net. And he does not even have money to feed or talk about. So don't give him extra burden. That is my own appeal now. The young person is already disadvantaged, should not be saddled with another responsibility or suffering the net to get. So except you're not sincere in helping him out.
Okay, so let's bring things into perspective.
Yes.
I was just discussing how a lot of people are unfortunately ineligible for some of these initiatives of government.
Yes.
So you have brought up a very important issue where sometimes it's written in high-sounding words that affect them. They can't even read it well. They don't have access to the information and do not even know how to navigate the internet to have access to some of these initiatives.
Yes.
How do you think your government should have done better? Because this is absolute failure from the government side if they have not tailored in those who need these initiatives, who need these interventions,
yes,
and tailor them into the kind of interventions that would benefit them.
You are very correct.
Thank you. Now that the quick answer is so simple, let's move on to other part because we really need to address several issues. Now we are witnessing some sort of growing anger, and we're seeing this expression through social media. 2027 is once again right by the corner. Civic conversations have become. We're seeing subtle engagement and some form of protest, and not necessarily with placards. I mean, we've seen the placard part, but we've seen some form of protest here and there. Are there concerns that this discontent will continue? I mean, you are the APC come 2027. Are you confident that there's such a thing that would change the minds of Nigerians, or you're afraid this would escalate into a broader political resistance?
Yes. You see, why I'm not afraid that it will snowball into political resistance is the youth are not even interested in the process.
Who are those ones with placards?
You can see
at the National Assembly. Who are those ones
asking at the National Assembly
asking that your president was?
I will explain who they are. There are those people they are sponsored by those people who cannot manage their internal political party affairs. And then they blame it on the ruling party. You can see the challenge Nigeria has. Look at all the political parties or the opposition parties in Nigeria. None is run by the youth. None of them is headed by the youth. Look at the same people who are telling Nigerians that they have the magic way to turn things around for better. The only youth that was in their midst was thrown out. Look at the way Gombe was thrown out of the political party and replaced. I'm talking about the example
you're speaking in parables.
Yes.
Rather, you're more explicit. Let's understand exactly what you mean.
Why? What's the cause of the confusion in the ADC?
What confusion are you talking about?
The leadership confusion. The delisting by INEC. And then a young man less than 40 who should be encouraged was thrown out, like he said, by his grandfathers.
What do you think that is?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. So the Nigerian youth should rather be concerned. We were thinking that Nigerian youth would rally around Gombe. If we are really serious, this is a young man who is shouting a low voice. We bear this party, youth come, they have thrown me away, with our time I was the deputy national chairman of the party, I'm supposed to, no youth is running around him. That is not caused by the ruling party.
So what does that tell you about the Nigerian youth?
That is where we are. Nobody. I asked a question the other day. We were at the panel and I asked the youth a question in Kano. None of them could answer. I said, look, if you are a father who had invested so much in a business, will you hand it over to a nonchalant son just because he is your son? And they say, no. You need to show capacity. I'm a father. I have a 16-year-old son in the university. I started trying him with responsibility because I discovered that from his little pocket money, he sends airtime to his younger ones at home.
Exactly.
So he started showing me signs of responsibility to the point that his younger one will send me their bill, their school, whatever they call it, budget, and I'll forward it to him to review. Please review and work on it, son. He will call the younger one. Hey, come, girl. What are you doing with this, that? Daddy bought this for you last time. Please reduce this. Okay, wait, I'll reduce it for you. He will reduce the item and the cost. Forward it back from here. And with the covering note that I think the above items are necessary.
Right.
So we as youth, I even involve myself. I am not going. In fact, I'm guilty too.
You're a youth?
Of course I am.
No, go ahead. I apologize. I
am a youth. It is what I say I am that I am. Not what. So that's what I am. We, the Nigerian youth, must show capacity. Okay. We are the most talented sector of the economy.
Absolutely. Okay, so that we don't dwell too much on that, yes. Given your role as one working really closely with local government chairmen, yes. How effective would you say they have been in addressing this very important issue of unemployment? And is it part of what the secretariat does? I mean,
yes, we are
in ensuring that they engage well with the youth and have initiatives that engage them meaningfully, yes. And gainfully.
Yes, we are partnering with development partners, working with development partners globally to see how we, especially in the agricultural value chain.
Right.
Now, but we have a problem there. We have a challenge of stigmatization. I don't know when we can overcome this farmer.
You mean the perception that
farming is for the rural dwellers? One of the major causes of the unemployment in the city, in the urban centers, is, well, I don't blame them, is the neglect of the rural area too, because these youths are of the Gen Z generation. So you don't expect a Gen Z to be in a rural area where he cannot network with the global world.
However, why do we keep talking about the hoe and machete farming? That's the reason why the Gen Z will not want to participate in that kind of farming.
That is where we are going to now.
It's still on your government.
That is where we are going to. So now we are mechanizing this process, and that's where we are now. So that is why, as I speak now, I am on appointment with the Chinese embassy. So we are working out a knowledge transfer system, especially because we want to, part of what we want to see how we can reduce the rural urban migration, because the pressure is really telling on the urban cities, urban centers. So we want to see how we can introduce some incentives, make it look sweet, let the young man be on his coverall and sitting on a machine, and then press, but they want to press, they like pressing. So to redirect their attention from negativity to positive ventures, and they can do, like we tested it in Cross River State. I keep using my state because the governor there is a youth-friendly governor. So it's working. You see, young men are now into farming because he's not going to farm with the machete and whole stuff. So with semi-mechanized system, improve especially the improved species of cocoa and palm seedlings. Yeah, the young man is really, because they are very, very impatient. Now they can't wait for the 5 years of the old palm tree and the old cocoa. Now they have the improved species that within 2 years and a half it start fruiting, so they can deal. So we are working. It's a challenging one, but we'll get it right.
Okay, so yes. We really are running out of time. So my last question to you would be, if you were to advise the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the moment directly with 3 urgent actions, what would you recommend to restore hope among young people in Nigeria? And it has to be quick. We're running out of time.
Whatever the President can, in any way will do it. The President needs to have a direct access to the rural communities.
Okay.
You need to put up a mechanism to have that is the first. The gap is just too much. There must be a system in place to reduce that gap. Even if he is to appoint, engage special aids the President needs to have a direct access with the rural area, so we can there should be a feedback mechanism direct, not the way things are done right now. So because some of the problems we're having today would have been nipped in the bud if that yes.
Thank you so much, Honorable Freedom Bassey, for your contributions this beautiful morning, and well done for the work you do. I really honestly hope that these initiatives you are pushing for would see the light of day, so that for once we would see our young people meaningfully engaged, and this unemployment that we keep talking about in our country, we would see the end of it. But that's where we end today's edition of Razep Africa. Until next time when we come your way, do have yourself a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you.